Hello, let's see. Now we're going to go live here. And I think we're all set. So, hello, everyone. Welcome to Let's Get Social. And today we're going to be sewing Burda 6588. We're going to be doing view. Uh-oh. Let's see. We're going to go back on our headset. This happens sometimes. We're going to get back on our headset. Let's see. Here we go. We're going to be... AirPods. There we go. Save our changes. Okay, we're going to work out these technical issues at some point, sooner rather than later. Okay, so here we go. Welcome for those that are joining. We are going to be sewing Burda 6588. We're going to be doing View B, a sweater. And this is sweater season. It's still fall, believe it or not. And it is just starting to get a little cool. So this sweater, I think, is really going to be handy in helping us to be able to transition some of our spring/summer things that we wore when it's a little bit warmer outside, or a little bit cooler in the spring or summer. We're going to be able to transition those to the fall. And a sweater like this really helps you to do that. And so I did pick out something that I created for the spring, summer, on those kind of cooler days, that now I'm going to transition by using this sweater to show you how you can kind of transition some of those spring, summer things into the fall, and maybe even into the winter. You throw on a scarf, you throw on some combat boots or some thigh high or knee high boots, and you definitely throw this sweater on, depending on the fabric that you'll use. You will be able to rock it. So this is definitely a complimentary item. And if you don't have a sweater like this, this is a very easy sweater to make. So as you can see behind me, I was going to make one ahead of time, and then I just thought I'm going to make it all on live. So I actually have cut out all of my fabrics, and I'm going to be doing some color blocking, which there is some in this. Well, they're using, I guess, fabric blocking, not necessarily color, but you can see it on View A, the shorter version. So we'll be doing the longer version, but the main differences between View A and View B are View B has a armband or wristband, I guess, that goes around the edge of the wrist, which we'll be adding, and View A does not. And then, of course, the length in View A and View B. I did do some modifications to View B, and the main modification is that I shortened it. Hi, Joy, welcome. Let's see who else has joined. Hi, Jonas. Hi, Bologna's. Welcome. And if I'm not saying that right, if you drop the phonetic spelling, I will definitely get it right. Hi, Iris. Hi, Shishi. So I'm really excited. Hi, Emily. Thank you all for joining. Hi, Kay Bella. Welcome. Hi, Rochelle. Thank you all for joining. I'm excited that you're here. So we're going to dive into things and get started. We broke a record last week because we finished in, like, I think, an hour and a half, under 2 hours. And we'll probably do the same thing this time around as well. So as always, I'm so grateful for all the people that do sew along either with me, or a lot of you sew along right after, because usually within 24 hours, you are tagging me in your post when you've made it. So I appreciate that. I always repost, with your permission. I post on, my other social media platforms. So if you do sew this, please tag me, because I love to see what you make. One of the things that's so inspiring about our sewing community is that you think you have a picture in your mind of what this could look like. And then you see someone else make it and they pick kind of an out of the box fabric, or they decide to do some modifications or adjustments, and it just takes it to a whole nother level. And I love seeing what you all do. So please tag me. I would really love to see what you all are doing. So again, we're sewing Burda 6588. We're doing view B, which is the longer version, and we will be doing some color blocking. So I did go back to our friend Joanne's last week, and I picked up some other colors of the fabric that we used to make the sweater dresses that we made last Friday. And they had a couple. They still had the navy blue, they still had the gray, but they also had like a wine burgundy color. They had this green. They had a cream color. They also had like a light pink color. So hi, Carrie, welcome. Hi, Shamir, welcome. I'm so glad that you all are here. So yeah, they had some other options. So I picked two and I was like, okay, we're going to work with this. I really like the way that those sweater dresses, in fact, I wore one to when I went to New York. I was in Albany the day yesterday, in fact, and it was cold, and I wore the sweater dress, and let me tell you, it came in handy. It worked very well. So with that said, we're gonna do a Burda pattern. So this is my first time sewing Burda, just like last week was my first time sewing New Look. I did pick again this is called a super easy pattern, and it really is super easy. So we're gonna follow the pattern instructions to some extent, but it is really straightforward. So I'm gonna talk you through each of the steps as well. So this pattern has 4, 5, 6 pattern pieces. And for view A, you only are using 4 pattern pieces. So you're going to do, there's a front, which you are cutting 2 pieces. There's a back, which it says you can cut 2 pieces. I cut 1 piece on the fold. As you know, one of the challenges one of the things you want to be aware of is when you choose to cut something on the fold that is recommending that you cut 2 pieces, that you're going to have likely another inch of that you wouldn't have otherwise, because you're going to have some seam allowance there. So I did end up making my band just a little bit longer. So because there is this band, and I'm going to show you in the pattern, that wraps basically all the way around this pattern. And you do one continuous motion. So I did add a little bit of extra into this to account for that little over an inch that will be preserved, because I cut it on the fold instead of cutting 2 pieces. So it's a front piece, it's a back piece. Both are the directions tell you to cut each 2 pieces instead of cutting the back on a fold, but I did cut it on the fold. Then you have the arms, which is 1 piece. You have the band that goes all around the outer edge. That's another piece. And then you have the wrist or the sleeve bands that go on. And those are all the pieces that you have. There are no zippers. There is no, the sleeves. Actually, you know what? The sleeves, scratch that. You do not have separate sleeves. The sleeves are all 1 piece with the front and the back. They're all 1 continuous piece. So what is the other piece? Let me see. The front, the back. Oh, so because the band that goes all around the outside is so long, they gave you an extra back band piece. So the band is actually cut into 2 separate pieces, and that makes up your 6 pieces. So you have a front band, a back band, and then you have there's an extension of the front band, because again, it is so long. And then you have the sleeve band. So 4 of the 6 pieces that you have to cut are all related to the bands, the wristbands, and then the band that goes all around. So those are all your pattern pieces. And like I said, I've cut mine in advance. So the first thing that we're going to do when sewing it together is we are actually going to do the sleeves. So part of what I've done, and I mentioned this earlier, is that because this pattern, it tells you that it's cut for a person that is 5'6". I'm 5'2". So I do still want this to be fairly long on me. So I did remove 2 inches instead of 4 inches and they have 3 different lines that you can use to remove some of the length from the pattern. 1 at the top, 1 in the middle, and 1 towards right below the waist area. And so I only removed 2 inches, and I just removed them from the bottom cut area, or the bottom length and shorten areas where I removed it from. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your back. If you cut it on the fold, your back on the fold, you are going to take your back and you are going to put both of those pieces, two back pieces together, right sides together, and you are going to stitch down the center of that, combining those two back pieces to make one single back piece. The other thing that's cool about this pattern, like the pattern that we did last week, is that you can use a serger for 100% of this pattern, which also makes it really easy because, as you know, the sergers are really easy to do. So I do have my serger in position. This is what it's on this side. I have my sewing machine on the other side as well. But I do have my serger and I do plan to use my serger. So once you sew those two back pieces together to form one piece, I skipped that step because, like I said, I cut it on the fold. So I left that piece there, hoping I don't regret it, because I did kind of map out this single band piece, which I have put together already. So we're fingers crossed that it's all gonna work out, that it's not going to be too long. It definitely won't be too short. That I know for sure. If anything, it could be a little bit too long, but that's an easy fix that we will not have an issue with. So once you do that, then you're going to connect the front to the back at the shoulder seams, and you're going to stitch, or in our case, we're going to serge right down this shoulder piece. So you're going to serge this one piece. And then once you stitch or serge the top of the shoulder, you are going to stitch and serge underneath the arm. So from the top of the arm all the way down to the bottom. So you're going to do two stitches. You're going to connect basically the front to the back on each side, and then you're going to do the shoulder seam. And then you're going to do underneath the arm, arm seam. And you're going to do that on each side. The seam allowance is 5/8 of an inch. The only exception to that is when you do the hem of the sleeve, they recommend that you do 1 5/8 inch, and also the wrist. So the bottom and then also the wrist, they recommend that you do 1 5/8 inch seam allowance. So with that said, we are going to serge or stitch those arm pieces. Hi, Belinda. Hi, Jennifer. Hi. I think I said hi to Joy. Hi, Felicia. So anybody sewing along? I am so curious to know if anybody is sewing along, or anybody ever made this pattern, or do you plan to make this pattern? I'm curious. And anybody else working on anything else this weekend? It's been raining here, so today is like a great sew day because it's been raining a lot. The other thing you want to be mindful of is that because this fabric is so stretchy, you want to make sure that you are not stretching the fabric too much while you are sewing it, because then it could result in it not lining up in the end. And then also, if you are serging instead of sewing it, you want to make sure that you serge off that seam allowance so you don't end up with your pattern not lining up with that band that you need to put around the sleeves or around the entire garment when you finish. So Marion says, I'm working on embroidering earrings. Oh, that sounds exciting. Embroidery. That's like another thing I have not dived into, but I always love when I see it. I do love embroidery. I'm going to have to go to your page and check it out. Let's see, do you have any of those earrings on your page? Brenda said, I'm hand stitching my daughter's quilt. So that reminds me. So I think I shared with many of you that my youngest daughter had her first child, which makes me a first-time grandparent. And my daughter has saved, his clothes. And she's like, oh, Mom, I want you to make, I want you to make a quilt out of his, his baby clothes. And I'm like, okay, put them to the side. I don't know anything about making a quilt, but I'm going to figure it out. Shamir says, I'm working on a blazer. I love blazers. I can't wait to see that. I hope I'm going to have to go to your page. Where's my little pen so I can write these down? Because this day will be over and I won't remember. I like to go and see. Let me see. I'm going to make sure I'm following you too. No, I'm not, but I will be. Use your PE 800 embroidery machine. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to get into embroidery. I said that was going to be one of my 2023 goals. I'm moving it to 2024. Moving it to 2024, Marion, for sure. And let's see. Marion Renee. I'm just right. Let me make sure I'm following you because I feel like I'm not. Oh, we are friends. Okay, great. So I'm going to make sure I go to your page and check it out. You say you're going to get into quilting. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? The best thing about our community is that there's somebody out here that knows how to do it. And I know Julian had did a class on, or had did a kind of, quilting 101, I think a little while ago. But at some point I'm going to say, hey, I need some help. I want to do this because I definitely want to make that quilt for my daughter. Definitely want to. It's so like amazing to see how much, babies grow. They just grow. You look at those clothes that they are in when they're like 1 month and newborns, and you're like, oh my goodness. I told her to save everything because I don't know how much it's going to take to make a quilt. It's going to be just not a quilt she could use, but decorative. Just to have and say, oh, this was your clothes. This is made out of your clothes. I told her to make all the clothes I got from her. So I'm a blazer kind of lady. Like I wear blazers summer, winter, spring, and fall. I have a lot of blazers. Black is my favorite color. I love blazers. Like I feel like you can wear a blazer with everything and it just takes it to the next level. All right, I have done the shoulders on both sides, and now I am doing underneath the arm. You say you saved your son's clothes to make a quilt too. Hey, Tony, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. So Marion, did you make the quilt? And Shabir, did you make the quilt too? You said you've only made 2 previously because they give you heartburn. Oh, goodness. Don't say that. I really want to make this quilt, and I'm kind of excited about it. And my daughter literally this week just reminded me, like, hey, Mom, don't forget, you say you're going to make this quilt. I got to learn how to make it first. Oh, you said no blazers. Oh, yeah. I love, you know what? I have made, how many blazers have I made? 2, 3 so far. And only because they take time. That's really it. You say you have not made yours yet, Marion, and he is 5. Look, I might be like you. I hope not. My daughter's not going to let me, because she is going to remind me every chance I get. And every time I make something, she's going to be like, where is my son's quilt? So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get away with 5 years. I'm going to have to do something before then. My problem is, when am I going to have time? Because it's not just about doing it. It's about learning and doing it. So I feel like I watched when Julian did his, and I just felt like it really, I'm not going to say it wasn't that complicated. That's not the right word. I'm going to say I felt like I could definitely do it. That's what I'm going to say, how I'm going to describe it. You say you want to make a t-shirt quilt by Christmas. I do not know what a t-shirt quilt is, so I'm going to have to use the Google to figure that out.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Cancel. That's my Google trying to listen. Because I said I'm going to have to Google it. See how these TVs work? Listening to everything you say. Thank you, Shamira. I definitely think I can do it. I definitely think it's the time. It's the time. And I'm going to have to figure it out. So I'm going to keep y'all posted. Look, we might do some of it on live. Who knows? Tony, what are you working on? Are you sewing anything? Oh, Brenda, I know. I definitely know. This smart technology, you happy when you need it, but when you just have to be mindful. And I'm a technology person. I use it every chance I get. But I'm mindful. Okay, so let's see. So I'm just sewing under, I'm using the serger and going under the arm part. And I'm almost finished the first side. And I'm going to do the second side too. The sweaters that we made on live, the sweater dress we made on live last week, oh my goodness. I was shocked at how many people really liked that. It got such a great response. I definitely recommend, if you like a good sweater dress, that is one that is so easy to put together. I would definitely recommend it. I'm going to actually make another one, but a different fit. Okay, one side down. So we have one whole side done. And I'm going to go to the other side. And again, I'm just doing under the arm part. And with that, this main part of this sweater will be together. And you could do even more color blocking with this because it's broken into so many pieces. I was literally going to add a piece of that wine color and a piece of the navy blue that I had left over from the dress that I did. And I really think it would have looked cute with all those kind of fall colors in it, the cream and the green and the navy and the wine color. But I kept it simple. Right. Right, Shishi. I get it. I get it. You know what? I get it. And that's what that is really nice about that dress is that it's got a looser fit, but it still looks really nice. It photographed really well, but it looked even better. I mean, I felt like I spent a little bit of time taking those pictures, and I still felt like I couldn't fully capture what I felt like I saw with my own eyes. Hi, Sabrina. Long time no see. How are you? So I'm gonna make a more slimmer cut version of that sweater dress because again, after wearing it yesterday, I was like, oh, I could wear this 5 days a week. So I might even make it this weekend to take with me because I'm traveling again next week. And I'm like, I didn't wear my gray one yet, so I think I'm gonna wear that one, and I think I'm gonna make that burgundy one. Because although I'm going to California, it's supposed to be a little cooler this week coming up, so I feel like a sweater dress is perfect. So we'll see. Hi, Will. I'm doing really good. I know I was MIA for a little while, but I've been back sewing pretty consistently for the last month, I think. I feel like it's been a month, yeah. And we've been really rocking it out. Really kind of getting in, doing a lot of like fall patterns. We did a really cute sweater dress last week. I think you will really love it. And it was super easy. Sabrina, believe it or not, we finished in like an hour and a half, 2 hours max, which, as you know, is unlike anything I've ever done in recent months. So I think people were shocked, just shocked as I was. My struggle, it is so hard for me to talk and sew at the same time. I struggle with that. It's either I'm going to sew and I'm going to talk, or I'm going to sew and at the same time, and then I'm going to be using the seam ripper. But I'm getting better. Shishi, I love the skirt and jacket, that Julian jacket that she made. I loved it. Loved it. I reposted it in my stories on Instagram. I love that. I thought that was just so, you look so cute. I was like, oh, I was like, I did not have that jacket on my radar to make, because I have all my patterns like planned out. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to figure out how am I gonna squeeze this in, because I'm like, everybody's making, I'm just so inspired by all the makes. Okay, so here we go. This is just so you can see what we've done so far. I'm gonna put it on this dress form because I feel like it's easier to look at from here. So we still have to put our band on, but this is what it looks like so far. So, and I'm gonna show it to you from the back. And you will see it on me in the end, but so so the back is green. Here's the back. And again, this is without, so if you follow the directions precisely, you also will have a seam in the center, because it does tell you again to cut 2 pieces. I cut on the fold. And to accommodate for that, I did have to make my band that's going to go around this neck area a little bit longer. And then here is the front. I also, again, there's more opportunity for color blocking. As I had mentioned, where you can also color block is you have bands that go, there's a band that goes around this neck part. So let me just show you. There's a band that goes, well, it's one single band, but there is a piece that fits for this neck part. And then, so that's one piece. You could have technically selected one color to go here. And then you have one piece that goes all the way around that you could have also color blocked. So you could have one color here, one color back, around the back. You make those to make one continuous loop, which I used all the same color, but you could have technically used 3 colors. And then around the wrist, you also have another band, and you have this option to do another color there too. Now I chose green just to keep it simple, but I was, playing with danger, and I thought maybe I'll do some color blocking, but I stepped up off the ledge and decided, let's keep it simple. But that just means I got to make another one. Thank you, Sabrina. So I will tell you, first of all, black is my favorite, all-time favorite color. But next in line are the neutrals. So I'm a wine color, a green, a navy blue. I already said a hunter green, like a burnt orange, a mustard yellow. Like those colors are like those. I can make anything out of those colors, and I'm like, I love it. I feel like those colors are all year long. You say you need that in black. Yeah, look, they did not have a black. They did not have a black of this particular. They also had another. Let me show you. I had it right here. This is green too. So this is another sweater fabric that I got, which I'm doing another one of our sew alongs will be with this fabric, but it is super thick, thicker than this one. This is a lighter weight. This is a much heavier fabric. So I have this, and I have it in a gray too. It's like a blue gray color. And then I also got, let me just show you another that I got. So I also got this, which is another, it's not as cream as this one. It's like more of a, I don't know, it's a cream, but it's darker. And it's also a more heavier. So these two are much heavier than the fabric that we're working with today. And I also have, did I get to another color? No, I did not. So I got this in a gray. And then I got this one. Then I got a burgundy one as well. Let's see. Yes, look, you did it. If you was trying to show us that a woman can wear that pattern, let me tell you, you killed it. You killed it. So I got these from Joann's. I actually got all of these sweater knits from Joann's. Joann had a 50% off of sweater knits this weekend. And that's when I went there and grabbed it. And I actually didn't even realize they had it. So when I went in there to get one thing, I ended up getting much more because they had the 50% off. So these were like regularly, I think $16. and I paid like $8 a yard. So not too bad. Not bad for what I would say, not bad for Joann's. Okay, so this is what we've done so far. The next step that it actually tells us to do is it tells us, thank you, Marion. Yes, that's a honeycomb sweater knit. That one that I just put in, that is a honeycomb sweater knit. Yes, Brenda. So hi, Frenchie, welcome. We are doing, oh, where did I purchase the fabric from? So I purchased the fabric from Joann's. All of the fabric that I just showed, I got from Joann's for those that may just be hopping on. Just this past weekend, they had a 50% off of fabric knit. So I'm sorry, sweater knit. And so these are a much lighter sweater knit, but I also used the same fabric, just different colors, to make the 2 sweater dresses that I made last week. They're very flowy, but they have a little bit of weight to them, not as heavy as those other 2 that I just lifted. Like this one is it's much heavier, but still really manageable. It still has a little bit of a flow to it, but not the same as this one. And then same thing with this one. This is still kind of like what I would call like the cable knit pattern, but it is much heavier than this one. This is a much lighter weight than this one. And they did have these in a couple of other colors, but I stick with the neutrals because those are my favorite. All of these I got from Joann's, and they were all really around the same price. I would say like around $16 a yard, but they were 50% off. Let's see. Okay, so this pattern, so you all know, is Burda 6588. It is considered easy. And when I tell you it is easy, it is very easy. It is a total of 6 pattern pieces, of which 4 are the bands. So you have 3 band pieces that make up the part that's going to go all around the outer edge of this. This is 3 different pattern pieces. You have one long one, you have an extension, and then you have a back piece. And then you have sleeve bands. So they make up the 4 bands. And then you have a front, which these 2 are the same front pieces. And then you have the back, which is 1 pattern piece that you can either cut on the fold, which is what I did, or it tells you, the instructions say to cut it as 2, cut it as 2 separate pieces and then stitch them together in the center. Okay, so we're moving on to the band that is going to go around the entire outside. And so the first thing you're going to do is you have 2 very long pieces. You are going to put those 2 long pieces right sides together, and you are going to stitch them 5/8 of an inch. So that's what I did. And then after you stitch those 2 pieces together, you have what they call a back band. And you're going to take, this is the back band piece, this shorter piece. You are also going to take one end and attach it to 1 front band. So this is a front band, back band. You're going to take it again, right sides together, and you're going to stitch it 5/8 of an inch. And then same thing on this side. Once you do that, the one thing you want to be mindful of is make sure that this is not twisted. It has to all be the same. And it's very easy because it is so long to have a piece that is twisted. So you just want to make sure that it is not twisted when you stitch it together. Otherwise, you will have to take it apart. All right. So once you do that, it does tell us to press these. And I didn't serge these because, again, I'm already a little bit concerned that it's not going to line up, that I'm going to have too much fabric. So one of the things I'm going to do is I am going to pin it to make sure that I don't have to cut any more off before I kind of serge it all together, because I am going to serge this on to the actual piece. I'm going to put right sides together and serge it. So the first thing that it does tell us to do is I'm going to press these 2 pieces down just so they're not bulky. So I'm just going to press it. I wish that I could have serged this, but I just wasn't, I I just didn't want to have to use my seam ripper or end up with it being too short. I would rather it be too long than too short because I can easily fix the too long issue. So I'm just pressing this. And then once we press it, we are going to pin it wrong sides together. So your right side should be facing out. Oh. Hey, Carmen, thank you. Thank you for all of the likes and for the gifts. I appreciate you. All right, one more thing to press, and then we are literally going to fold this in half. We'll move this iron out of the way. We're going to fold it in half, and we are going to start attaching it to And so when we're attaching it, one of the things that we are doing is we are going to attach it to the outside, meaning right side to right side. Because when we serge it, we're going to be serging it on this end, and this is going to flip out so that your serge part will be faced to the inside. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find my back piece, my back band right here. And I'm going to line the lines up with the back from the back band to the back. So if you could see this, there is a seam line right here, and it's going to line up to where the seam is right here. And it's probably easier for me to pin it, but we're going to see, because I also want to make sure, I might have to take it off of this dress form at some point, but we're going to start here. And like I said, once I pin this, the next thing I'm going to do is, and the reason why I'm doing this is I want to make sure that it is not too long. So anyway, you fold it in half. You want to have the right side facing out. And then you are going to start pinning this to the outside. So you also have your sweater right side out. And now you're going to start pinning it right to the edge. And the first thing I'm doing is lining up that back. I'm also making sure that as I'm pinning it, particularly while it's on this dress form, that it's not hanging, because I don't want it to also stretch out of place. Because that's another reason why it could end up too long, is because it could stretch, and I don't want it to stretch unnecessarily. All right, so I have those seams lined up, and now I am literally, oh, that did not pin on there. And I might end up taking this off of here because I can actually see how it's probably going to be a little bit more challenging to pin this. Ouch, I just stuck myself. All right, I think we got it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, you all are just blowing it up. I appreciate you. So, Sarita, you said, I don't know if I answered you or you were on, Sarita, when I said, you asked what's the fabric. It is sweater knit, and I got it from Joanne. So I'm just repeating that because I don't know if you were on when I said that. I think so, but just in case, I wanted to make sure you have that. Okay, thank you. All right, so I am, again, I made sure that the band is folded in half, and I am literally pinning it. The good news is that if I do have to shorten it, I'm going to shorten it right at the area where the two long pieces connect, or the two front pieces connect. That's exactly where I'm going to shorten it. And that'll make it easier so I don't have to unpin this entire piece. Let me just turn this around so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to get ready to lay this down. So again, what will happen is we'll serge around here, this part, and then this part will flip over. So this will be on the outside. So the serge piece, and I will probably at some point understitch. All right, I'm gonna stop there and then pick back up on this side. It also, if you have, worries about your band staying together, it also might help to do a basting stitch to the band first, just to be sure it stays together. Again, one of the reasons why I'm not doing that is because I do have some concerns that it's not going to line up, that it's a little bit too big. And so I want to be able to easily just shorten it. And it'll be much harder to do if I put a basting stitch. I mean, it's just one more thing I have to account for. But a basting stitch also helps so that you don't overstretch your fabric. This fabric can easily be stretched. So you just want to make sure that you don't stretch it, and just letting it hang, particularly this band, it can stretch out of place and it'll be even longer. So all right, so now I am going to take this off the dress form so I can finish pinning it. So I'll move this to the side. And I'm going to work on pinning the remainder of this. And again, it's just making sure that you have all those raw edges even. And I know you probably can't see a lot of what I'm doing, but I'm basically repeating the same process of lining up the band, raw edges of the band with the raw edge of the sweater. And I'm just doing that, working my way all the way around, hoping that it's the exact, that my measurements worked out and it is not too long or too short. It's definitely not going to be too short. It might be a little bit too long. And then I'm going to go right to my serger and I'm going to serge all of this. Hi, Brooklyn Timmy. Oh, you said you can see. Okay, great. So I pulled out two things. I'm going to put on just one, but I pulled out a McCall 7999 dress that I made early spring, or maybe it was fall. I mean, maybe it was winter. That it's I made a turtleneck version of 7999. If you know 7999. Everybody has it. It's a Black Swan Network favorite that I'm going to wear with this just to kind of show you. I also have another garment that I pulled out, actually three. They're all black, of course, that I pulled out to wear with this. I'm probably not going to put all of them on, but maybe just one. But I wanted to just show you how you can use this. I mean, how you can wear this. Okay. So, all right. Well, one thing I'm noticing is that my little middle piece is more to one side than the other, which is making me nervous. So I'm going to this side because that middle piece is supposed to be in the middle and it's not. So we'll see. I might have to stretch it out a little bit. Hi, Miss Tata. Welcome. I'm happy to see you. So I've tried my very best to not stretch any of this. Let me see. What are we working with? I feel like I might need to stretch it. That's what I'm feeling like. I'm feeling like I needed to stretch this. More than I did, but we're going to work it out. We are going to work it out. Hi, Dee. What are you up to? What you working on? So for those that are just joining, we are working on Burda 6588. It is a sweater, or they call it a jacket. It's a sweater. We're doing view B, the long version. We're using a sweater knit. We have sewed the front and back together, and we are now working on placing the bands or putting the band that goes all the way around the entire sweater. We are pinning that on, and then we will be serging it. Okay, look at that. It is a little bit too short, so we're going to be stretching. Oh, guess what? Okay. A little bit too short on this side, too. So I was worried about it being too long, and it's too short. But we're going to do some stretching. I feel like we could stretch it out. Wow, that's a lot. I might need to add another piece in here. I think that's what we're going to do. So what we're going to do is we are going to add a piece because I feel like it is too much to stretch. Even if I stretched it, it'd be easier just to add another piece, especially because I have another piece already cut. So we are going to add that in right into the middle. So I'm about to use my seam ripper. So I have another piece right here that I already cut. And we're going to attach that right to the middle of the band. So I'm going to pin everything all the way till we get to that middle piece. You said I made a similar pattern in a silky polyester border print. Lots of finagling, but you love it. Yes, well, I'm excited to hear that. Yeah, I feel like, I'm going to take this piece, this out. I feel like it's going to be okay. I think that extra piece that I cut, which I did not think I was going to use, but I'm using it because the band is not lining up. When you think it's going to be too long and it's too short, that's the dilemma. But it's an easy problem. So what I'm going to do is, okay, so I'm going to take this loose. Just loosen it. Oh my goodness. So when you use a thread that blends right into your fabric, that makes it so much harder to take out. Oh, okay. It's coming out. So I'm just seam ripping this so I can add this extra piece in here that I need to add. All right, I got one end loose, and now it's just, let me see. I might have answered it, but just in case I didn't, we are doing Burda 6588, and it is a sweater. We're doing View B, which is the longer version of it. Let me just show you. We're doing this one. And the other thing, so I didn't talk about this. So this pattern, you can use, and I think, you can use other fabrics. So you can even see on the pattern, this one is a very thick sweater, and this is a see-through. So you can do, this is also like a, it could be a summer, something light, in the office. One of the things in the summertime, the offices are always cold, so you always need something, but maybe not winter heavy. So they say the other recommended fabrics in addition to sweater knits are rayon. Let's see what else they said. Jersey. So it's another thing you can use to make this as well, in addition to, knits. So you definitely have some options. So I'm probably going to make my seam allowance a little less on this just to make sure that I have enough to get to this last little part. Almost out. All right, last little piece. And of course, that part where you back stitch is always the part that does not want to come out. I almost wish I would have used a different color because this thread is like melting into here. You can barely see it. Thank you, Carrie. So I'm just seam ripping this out because it was a little bit too short. And rather than stretch it out, which I feel like it would have still been a little too short, I am going to literally add a piece. I already cut a piece that I didn't think I was going to need, but looks like I will. So all right, one little piece. Just get this out without trying to destroy the fabric. All right, there we go. All right, it's not too bad. Okay, so I've got this pinned. I'm just going to move the bulk of this out the way just so I can see exactly what do I have left. So I've pinned this all, and it almost looks like it's the whole back that I have left open. And here's my piece, my extra piece, which I just, let me see. So that's going to get us to there. I feel like it's still going to be, it is. It's going to be a little bit too short. Because by the time I stitch these in, so I'm going to cut another piece that's just a little bit longer. I'm going to measure this. And I'm going to cut another little piece. Do I have my, oh no, I put my big mat away. I have a little big mat that I always usually have out, but I didn't bring it out. All right, so where's my, so here is my yardstick, and I'm just going to measure how much I need, and I'm going to add a ½ inch or an inch to that to account for my seam allowance. So this is a little bit long. Move this out the way. All right, here we go. So I'm moving this out the way so I can measure this. So let's say. All right, I got it all lined up. And I'm going to say put this at 4. And this is, let's just say, this piece is at 23. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I need 20 inches. That's pretty long. All right, here we go. And I have, this piece might actually be long enough. Look at that. It is. So I don't even have to really cut it because I already have another piece. And it is literally the same size. Look at that. I'm gonna make that overlap. I'm gonna make this piece overlap by 1/2 inch. All right. Well, that was quick. So we've cut the extra piece. And now I am going to right sides together, just stitch these two pieces together. Pin, and then, where's my pins? Here we go. Hi, Coco. Welcome. Dee, I don't know if you had heard me earlier. I was wondering if you were working on anything. Are you sewing anything? Are you working on anything this weekend? Miss Tata, you working on anything this weekend? Carrie, you working on anything? Okay, and now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Look at that. Oh my goodness. This just turned out so good. So easy. Oh, you said you're recovering from your shoulder injury. Well, I hope you feel better soon. In the meantime, I'm sure you're collecting things that you're going to work on as soon as you can. You said you're trying to finish Mimi G 8702. Okay. Can't wait to see that. I'll always love your pictures and your video when you finish your projects. Okay. So let me move these things out the way. I'm going to use my sewing machine, which I'm going to, oh, okay, don't play. Move it over here so you all can see. And I am going to just stitch this at 5/8 of a seam allowance, and then we're going to attach it to the bottom and then serge it, serge away. Just making sure it all lines up. So you know, another thing I want to do is I want to make some pillows. That's another thing I really want to do. I want to make some decorative pillows. And part of me wishes I would have thought about it sooner, because I feel like it would be great Christmas gifts to make some decorative pillows. Like as I visit my family and friends' homes and see their, like right down there, just, you know, their colors of their homes, and say, oh, you know what? It would be great to make a, you know, a pillow or two that they can put on their, you know, couch or ottoman or something. Anybody ever made any decorative pillows? You said you don't like making pillows. Talk to me, Carrie. Why? Tell me what's what don't you like about making pillows? Oh, so Coco says quick and easy. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Quick and easy. That's exactly what I was thinking. And it's so nice if you pick the right fabrics. Like, it can be so nice. But I want to hear. Oh, now curtains, I'm with you on the curtains. Like, you got me there. We are together. We are aligned when it comes to not making curtains. But pillows, I'm thinking, this should not be difficult. So talk to me, help me. You said straight lines, too many. Okay, okay. I hear you. Too many straight lines. Okay. You said it's just a square, right? That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Tell me, like, let me talk to you. I've never made a pillow, but let me tell you what I'm thinking. I'm thinking literally, your shapes. So I'm gonna stay away from circles. I'm not there yet, but I'm thinking squares, I'm thinking rectangles, and I'm literally thinking it's two pieces. You just sew around, you leave a little piece open in the middle, you stuff it with your stuffing, whatever you're going to use, and then you slip stitch the end and you're done. I'm not talking about adding any kind of like what do you call it, like pleats or in the center or the edges or anything like that. You said let me see, I've made decorative pillow wraps, just wrap them around and close them with Velcro. Okay, that's another option. I'm thinking it through. We're gonna see. I might try to pull something off for what is it, for Christmas for some people. Let's see. But I'm surprised that more people, there probably are people that join. I'm just not on enough to know, but it seems like it's an easier thing. And I don't want to minimize it. So I'm not trying to minimize the effort that goes into somebody making a pillow, because I've seen pillows that have all kind of like little pleats in the middle, covered buttons, and all kinds of things like that definitely take it up a level. And I'm not talking about doing any of those things, for the record. I'm talking about nice and simple, just really picking like a nice jacquard fabric or some kind of like, really nice fabric, and let that speak for itself and really keep the pillow itself pretty basic. That is what I'm thinking. Now, I could be oversimplifying it for sure. All right, we have put in this extra little piece. I'm just flattening the seams so they lay flat. I'm just ironing the seams rather so they lay flat. And now I'm gonna move my sewing machine out the way. And my little workspace is looking a little bit of a mess, but we're gonna clean it up in a minute and finish pinning this around the bottom. Okay, so we are back to our pinning process. And then we are going to serge. We're going to be serging away. As a finishing piece, I will definitely have to do an understitch to make sure that the band that we've just stitched all around is going to stay flat. So not on this call, not on this live, but afterwards, I will take that seam allowance, that surged little end, and I will stitch it down flat. And so I was thinking, as I mentioned earlier, like you have several options to color block. And one of the reasons why I didn't is because I thought about the time it takes to, you know, if you have to switch. Oh, this is perfect. If you have to switch your threads. And the only time I think that it really might matter is when I have to do that understitch. I don't know, we'll see. All right, so we have now pinned this whole thing around. Lining those raw edges. And now we're going to serge them. So this is what it all looks like. What you can see anyway, because it's pretty big. So I am about to now start to serge this. I'm just going to start from the bottom. And I have a lot of pins in here kind of holding this in place. So the key is really to make sure that all the fabric gets under there pretty flat, that it is not bulky. All right, here we go. You said you do a 19 by 19 square with 20 by 20 pillow form, and it will be nice and full. Yeah, I'm definitely going to try to do it. Hi, Latoya. I know, you know what? And I do have some polyfill too. So that's one of the reasons why I'm thinking I want to do that. So we'll see. I'm definitely interested in doing it. And I think it would be a really nice gift. Hi, Belinda. So the key is, again, to make sure all these raw edges are lined up, that you don't miss any of them in this serging process. Oh yeah, so far so good. It's looking really good. I can't wait to show y'all this because I really feel it's going to be so nice. Thank y'all for all the gifts and the likes. I definitely appreciate it. Thank y'all for hanging out with me on Friday, this Friday. I appreciate each and every one of you. Just get ready to go around this little curve, and I gotta make sure these pieces are lined up. There we go. So I have another goal too. I have probably about on my little table in my sewing area, I have about 5 remaining projects that I did not completely finish. And I'm going to start them on Thanksgiving break, a little couple days that I have on Thanksgiving. I'm going to start them and then finish them up before the new year. I have another little break after Thanksgiving, before Christmas. I hate having projects that are, I didn't realize how much it bothers me to start a new project and have other ones that I didn't finish. So in addition to that, I have some projects that I finished, but I haven't gotten to take pictures of, so that everybody can kind of see, hey, this is what it looks like. This is what it can look like. So I want to try to do that also. Oh, you know what? I don't even know how I could forget this. So me, Bird, Dejanay, Aisha, Tydree. Who else am I missing? LaShawn, Dejanay, Bird, Tydree, Aisha. The 5 of us. We had this amazing opportunity. We got interviewed by Lisa from Black Women Stitch for her podcast, Stitch Please. We had so much fun recording this podcast. If you have not listened to it, you have got to listen. It just dropped on Wednesday, I think. So go and listen. It's episode 205. Again, it's the Stitch Please podcast. And so in celebration of Black Sewing Network's, 1-year anniversary, which was, I guess, a couple weeks ago, Lisa has been interviewing a lot of us. So she also was interviewed, and Britt was interviewed, and I don't know who else, but those 2, I listened to theirs. Awesome. So you have got to go and listen to, again, it's called Stitch Please. Definitely go listen. It is so awesome. I have the link on my Facebook page and on my Instagram page, and I'm going to post something here to TikTok too. Also, if you donate to their Patreon, you can see the video, because it's not just the audio podcast. So you can listen to an audio podcast, but they also have the video. And so you can see all of us like on there, and so the donation allows you to see the video, but you're also supporting a, Black woman owned, business, and you help it basically function. You help kind of cover a lot of the operational costs of having a podcast. So I am, a Patreon person who donates to support. And you can donate, I think it's as little as $5 to be able to see the video. So not just my video, you'll be able to see the other videos as well. So again, you can listen for free. It's awesome. I definitely recommend it. We talk about our experiences. It's fun. To get all of us together at one time is fun. Hey, Julian. Julian, I was just talking about you. I must have talked you up. I was talking about how, I don't know, I'm sure you remember this, but I was remembering when you did your quilt. Remember when you were making a quilt and you were kind of walking through, we were all talking about some of us were talking about how we want to kind of get into quilting. So watch out, Julian. We might be tapping you for some tips. Not trying to do anything fancy, but I remember when you did it, I felt like, okay, I could do this. You gave me the confidence to think I think I could do this. All right, let me push this up here because I do not want to stretch it out by letting it hang. I need to put my little table back on here. Julian, I have really been enjoying your little videos that you've been putting out this month. They are so awesome. I have really enjoyed them. So if you all aren't aware, and you may be, but Julian's pattern is being featured on Sew Your View this month. So lots of people are making the patterns, and Julian's been on doing little snippets, giving tips on his pattern. So yeah. And that's the pattern I was talking about earlier that she made, which she did an awesome job, which definitely, inspired me. I was like, okay. Let me get into it. Stick an extra pin in here. Again, the trick is to make sure all these little pieces. He said, I showed we have the 12 days this year. I'm still making ties. You said you still making ties. Okay. Here we go. I'm always so nervous with this serger that I am going to miss one of these pins and it's going to hit this serger blade, and I don't know what it's going to do, but I'm nervous about it. Okay, let's see. We are more than halfway done. This is the longest part, attaching this band all, because it's literally going around the entire piece. But we are almost done. And then we just have the arm bands, the sleeve bands, and we are done. Again, this entire sweater, for the most part, there is a part where I use my sewing machine, but you could really do this entire thing on your serger. You said it's just gonna break the pen. You know what? I don't know why makes me so nervous, D. I just feel like, oh, it's gonna come out flying. It's gonna hit me in the eye. It's gonna break my blade. I don't know, but you're right. It's probably just gonna just cut the pen and keep it going. Last little piece. this teeny tiny little piece. And there we go. We are done with this piece. I'm just going to show you again what it looks like. And the only thing we have to do left is to attach the bands on the arm. It's looking really, really good. So I'm just going to put it on here so you can kind of see it a little bit. So this, and you can see, I don't know if you can see, let me get closer, but it's off a teeny tiny bit. But I will press that. I mean, it's so minor. And let's see the side. Same thing. It's off just a teeny tiny bit, not major, not anything I would be concerned about. Obviously, we'd like a straight. But and I would just press that. That's going to make all that lay down nice and flat. Let me just pull it back so you can see it a little bit. And then this is what it looks like from the back. You could see that a little bit. Again, I would have to press it down. So, all right, we're going to attach the arm bands and then we're done and we're going to try it on. So I did the arm bands also. Let me find them. Got all my little pieces. Is this my armband? Nope. Nope. Yes. One. Make sure I have the right ones. I got all these little pieces. I want to make sure I got the right ones. I line them up to my pattern. So this is the back band, and this is the sleeve band. Okay, here we go. Oh, here we go. These are the sleeve bands. So here are my two sleeve bands. And with the sleeve bands, we are literally doing the same thing we did with the armband, which is folding them in half, wrong sides together. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. We're going to fold them in half like this first, right sides together, and then stitch around that edge. And let me just make sure that is what they did. Fold bands each, right side facing, stitch together to close the edges. Yes, that is what we're going to do. So we're going to stitch these together to close that edge. So I'm going to do that on my sewing machine. Thank you, Carrie. Enjoy your pizza. All right. Yeah, you know what? So I thought about that, Dee, like, you know, using my sewing machine and then going back with the serger. And you're right. It is definitely, sometimes I do it that way. I do both and then serge it afterwards. It depends. I think I'm much more likely to do that with a woven than I am with a knit. So I'm just stitching this at the end to make my circle 5/8 of an inch. Now, if you could also go without these armbands, you could choose to follow view A and just fold under the ends and do just stitch up the seam, do a seam stitch at the end. That is another option if you don't like armbands. I find with sweaters that it does help it because I like to push my sweaters up. So it just helps it give you more ability to kind of hold your sleeves up. But if you don't like bands, you could definitely skip this step. Oops. Oh, my thread came out. I had to rethread my needle. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I do think it does, make it more secure. But I don't feel like I mean, at least I haven't at this point had any problems with just serging it without, it's particularly on knits, without first stitching it. But I do think it gives much more of a more stable and secure stitch. And I know that from when I've done it on woven for sure. Okay. So now I'm just going to press this just to lay this part flat. On both of these armbands. I do feel like not color blocking here was probably a missed opportunity to add a little more flavor, but it's okay. That just means I gotta make another one. All right, so now I'm gonna fold them in half. Like this, right sides out. And again, this is another opportunity where if you are worried about it staying lined up, that you can definitely put a basting stitch in here. I usually put a pin to keep both of the seams lined up, and then I'm going to start pinning it to the edge of the sleeve. And this is right sides out. And then you're going to do the same thing again that we did, which is slide this over top of the sleeve, line up your seams, and then you're going to pin this, and we're just going to serge all around this edge after we pin it all. And so I'm just pinning it right together now. Just stretching my band just a teeny bit to make sure it can fit. To my sleeve, and it does. I don't have to stretch it too much. All right, one sleeve is pinned. I'm just going to put one more. All right, one sleeve is pinned, and I'm just going to do the other one. Same thing, right sides together. It's my other sleeve. Just cutting off this serge edge. And I'm going to slide the band over the sleeve, line up my seams. And then line up those raw edges and then pin. Yeah, I would definitely say this pattern is very beginner friendly. It is also what I would consider a quick sew. And I'm always, emphasize that being beginner friendly and being a quick sew are two different things. Of course, some of you probably know that from watching me sew. Everything that's beginner friendly is not quick. But this one and the pattern we did last week, I would definitely say are both quick because we are basically done. Here we go. Let me just put one more pin in, and then we are going to the serger. All right, here we go. So I'm going to wrap the sleeve around. Make sure all my edges are lined up. Make sure it's laying flat under there. And we're going to start serging. Here we go. Last step. All right, one sleeve down. One down. One to go. There is my other sleeve. Okay, here we go. last little piece. There we go. All right. And here we go. This is the finished sweater. So I'm going to go try this on, and I'm just going to show you how one way that I would style this. So give me a couple minutes and I'll be right back. Almost ready. Good. Okay, definitely got to iron it to make everything lay down flat, but you'll get a good idea, I think. Okay, so let me move this on so you can see. So a couple things that I've noticed. Well, one, I'm gonna do the understitching. So to stitch this onto the band so that this will now lay flat. And there's a couple of areas where it's not quite laying flat, like around the bottom. You can see how it's kind of flaring out. So I definitely have to press that. And then the sleeves, I think I'm going to make this band a little bit smaller because, and I cut, this is a size, what size did I cut? I cut a size 14, I think. Yes, I cut a size 14. So I could have definitely probably cut a little bit of a shorter size, but I'm okay with the oversize. So the only thing I will do is I want this to be tighter. So I am definitely going to make these bands tighter so that I can do my sleeves like this because I like to wear my sleeves this way. But this is how the back looks. And once I iron it, this will all lay flat. This band will lay flat as well. So you can't really see, but I got on some boots, some flat boots with this. I also have like a sweater dress that I feel like you could wear with this. And I had another like black top and bottom that you could wear. You said that I just noticed that you pin when you surge, and that's rare that you see that. I'm glad to see it. I hope that helps me surge better. Yeah, I like to pin when I surge, especially when it's very long, continuous pieces. So this has this long band, and I was very nervous about it staying in place. So I definitely pinned, on there. But this is what it looks like. This is, again, a size 14. I did take 2 inches out of the length of it. So it would have been even longer than what it is now. It says that it's made for 5'6", and I'm 5'2", so I'm much smaller. And I also cut a size 14, which if you want a more tighter fit, particularly around the waist, you will want to cut a smaller size. I'm okay with the waist part. I like a little bit of the big, especially if I'm wearing something really tight fit underneath. But I'm okay with even the baggy arms. I just want my arm bands to be tighter so that I can, do one of these numbers like this. So other than that, I really like the way it turned out. I know once I press it, this stiffness will disappear. It'll all kind of meld into each other. I did not really press along the way. And then I'm going to do that under stitching, which I think will really help with this bottom part. The neck is laying really good. But yeah, that's it. That is it. It's very quick sew, very fast. Thank you, Frenchie. Thank you, Lynette. And let me see. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Dee. Thank you, Shishi. Thank you, Miss Tata. Yes, Dee, I am going to DC Frogtails. So Dee just asked, am I going to DC Frogtails? I am absolutely 100,000% going to DC Frogtails. I'm excited. Are you going to DC Frogtails? That's my question. Who is going to DC Frogtails? Who is going? Thank you, Coco. So this is just to give you an idea about the color blocking options. So this is one pattern piece. Well, these are the same pattern piece, but you cut them, you cut 2 pieces. So, you could do this in one color, this in one color. And I really thought about doing like a wine, on like one side of wine, one side of navy blue. The back I cut on a fold. So that's the other reason why the back might be a little bit bigger. Although it only adds 1 inch, is because I did cut it on the fold. So to make it a little bit bigger. So it would have been a little smaller by 1 inch, which is a lot. That's a lot. So, but you also could do color blocking in these bands. One thing I also noticed is that the bands, because this is a directional pattern, so my band going down lines, it goes straight down, which matches, all of this matches, but my arm bands, as you can see, if I hold it really close, it is going in a different direction. I did not pay attention on that part. So you can see this is going like this, and these are going this way. But I don't know that I could help that because I did follow, the grain lines when it told me to cut it. So anyway, I mean, not that this will make a big deal, but if I do decide to cut it off and do it a little bit smaller, which I might do because I do want it to be a little tight. I might even put elastic in there to give it some tightness. So I might end up doing another band, but lots of options for color blocking. Okay, so Dee, you said you're gonna go. Coco, you said you plan to go to the Frogtails. So would you undo the cuffs and shorten the sleeve band? Lynette, absolutely. I think I am gonna do that because I like to do this with my, even when I'm, if I'm cold, I do like to be able to let it down, but I like a tight, I don't care about this part being baggy. I, in fact, like that. I prefer that. In the dress those 2 sweater dresses that I did last week, I added some extra so they could be a little bit baggy because I like that part. I like this kind of baggy look, but this, I want to be tighter. So I'm definitely going to take them out and make it tighter. 100% because I like that look. So I will definitely be making those sleeve bands tighter, 100%. Yeah, I love the scrunch sleeve. Like that is my whole, yes, that is my whole thing. Oh, so the other thing is this does not have pockets. So she just made me think about it. There are no pockets in this on either. The pattern doesn't come with pockets, but you could easily put, a patch pocket on the front. You could do that. But you could easily put a pocket in here. I mean, easily. You could also do a belt with this. That's not a bad option if you wanted to like do a crossover and do a belt. Right now, it would look so baggy on me if I did a belt because of the way it's, kind of baggy around here. So I probably won't do a belt just because I like this look, this baggier look, but I gotta fix these sleeves because I feel like the sleeves fit, then it's gonna be straight. I mean, can you imagine the sleeves fitting? This is how it would look if the sleeves were right. Oh yeah, that would give me, and then press it out. So you'll see, I'm gonna do all that, and then I'm gonna take some pictures so that you can see it, how it's gonna look once it's ironed. Iron is like magic. Let's see. Yeah, your first thought was a belt too. Yeah, I definitely feel like if it wasn't so loose here, once I fix the sleeves, I might play around and I might do a belt number because I could definitely see a belt giving it a little, style, a little extra style. Belt is definitely an option, I think, for this. Depending on your preference, but I definitely think you could do it. Let's see what else. Well, I'm looking forward to DC Frocktails. I am, there's no theme. I don't know if you saw that. So we can literally do what we want. And that is too many options. It's like having no options. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do. But I am definitely going. Hi, Catherine. How are you? All right. Well, this was another really quick sew. We are all finished. I do have one update that I will tell you for next week. So next week, like I said, I'm traveling for work, and unfortunately my flights got switched, and so I'm not going to make it back in time to do our live sew. I do plan to do probably a pre-record for what we were going to do last week, but don't fret. She who has been on our live today is going to be covering, and it's going to be on this time slot. And she is amazing. I'm sure you all are familiar with She. If you are not familiar with her for any reason, look, you said you almost stole my night tonight. She is like on fire. Go check her out. She is on fire. I'm jealous that she's going to be here and I'm going to be on the plane, so I'm not going to be able to see what she's doing. But you do not want to miss it. So be here or be squares. Do people still say that? I don't know. But anyway, She, it's all you now, baby. I'm breaking records. We are done. We are done. Thank you all for joining. Come back next week. She will be here. And I will be back the following week. So thank y'all. Don't forget to go listen to Stitch Please podcast. She and Britt were on the week before. So you not only can listen to me and Bird and Dejanay and Aisha and Tydri, you could also hear the amazing job that She and Britt did because they were on the week before. So definitely go check them out. And if you want to see the video footage, join or support through Patreon, which you're supporting a Black woman business, and you will get to not only hear our voices, but see us in action. So with that, I'm going to say good night to everyone, and I will see you all in a couple weeks. And don't forget, She will be here next week. So good night, everyone. Bye. Thank you.